decided that he wanted to be looked at. So we want to interview for the first time in your life a fig tree. Help me somebody. We want to interview. We want to look at him to see if he qualifies to be what he claims that he is. The first thing I need to point out to you right there in verse number 13, if you will, go to Mark. I believe Mark is where I want to just kind of spend some time. But in Mark chapter 12, chapter 11, look right around verse number 13. And the first thing I need you to see is that this fig tree was marketing for a position he had never been hired for. I need you to just go with me. If you will, look at verse 13 of the text. He was marketing a position that he had never been hired for. My brother says, I've interviewed many people, as I told you earlier, who put down on their resume many jobs that they really didn't have. You know how sometimes, Doc, when you do a resume, you kind of fuzz the resume to fit what you're applying for. Do I have a witness here? I can't tell how many times people did that at Saginaw Valley. They come and say, well, you know, I've got vast experience in that. Okay, well, what do you know? So then you take them over there to that job and see if they can do it. And they didn't even know how to turn the buttons on. Help me. Somebody you didn't know how to turn the machine on, didn't know how to do everything. Okay, so what you really mean is you stood around and watched somebody because you didn't do the job. If you did, you know how to handle this. And I wonder if God would say that about us right now. You say you saved, you got many folks saved, you got many people that you brought to Christ, but if you don't know the Romans road to salvation, how can you justify telling somebody that you're good and winning souls to Christ? If you don't know Romans 10 and 9, if you don't know John 3 and 16, how can you say that you're living a life that Christ wants you to? I want you to have somebody that can help. See, you have to understand that to be a Christian means to be Christ-like. And to be Christ-like means that I want to please my Father. When I'm trying to please my Father, I got to tell somebody what my daddy has done for me. Text says, Jesus was coming along. Brother Pittman, he was coming along. And the record is that Jesus was hungry. And I love this text because right about there, Brother Brown, it lets me connect with Jesus because Jesus shows the human side of him. You do know that every now and then Jesus did get tired. Did know that every now and then Jesus, even though he was bread, he was the living bread, he did eat bread every now and then. Do I have a witness? And here he is, he gets tired. And the text says that as he's walking along, he looks down the road and he sees a fig tree. Here's the fig tree. Fig tree is down the road, and the fig tree is standing nice and tall, and its leaves are green, and it's standing by the roadside, which suggests that nobody owned it, but that rather it was open for anybody that drove along the road to go by and eat some fruit as they were going along life's journey. And here he is, this fig tree saying, look at me. Don't I look good? My leaves are green. Check out my branches. Help me, somebody. I'm standing tall. Can't nobody stand like I can. I mean, the fig tree was just standing there. He wanted to be admired and appreciated. And so Jesus looked down the road, and Jesus was hungry, and Jesus saw the tree, and he said, I'm a little bit hungry. Let me go down and get me some figs off this fig tree. I wish I got somebody that can walk me, if you will. One time Jesus said, I'm hungry. I see a fig tree. I'm going to get me something to eat. Now, before we get to the fig tree, I need you to understand, my brother, with your spiritual eye, that Jesus knows everything. It's not like Jesus didn't know when he got to that fig tree, Sister Pittman, that there wouldn't be any figs on it. But sometimes Jesus does stuff for us. Yeah, Miss Mike, you do remember when Lazarus was dead, and the record is Jesus was in another part of the community, and they said, word, your friend Lazarus is sick to the point of dying. And the record says, it's holiday, that Jesus intentionally stayed where he was because Jesus knew that when he got there, what he was already going to do. He knew Lazarus was going to die. It didn't catch him off guard. Jesus knew that when he got there, he was going to bring Lazarus back to life. I'm trying to help somebody understand that while you think Jesus doesn't know, Jesus may appear to be intentionally delaying getting to your situation. But when he shows up, whatever it is, he's going to change your situation. So here he is. Can you see Jesus? Mary comes up to him and says, Jesus, if you had been here, can't you see it with tears down her eyes? Big crocodile tears crying. Jesus, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. And the record is, Jesus said, look, I am the resurrection. When I show up, everything got to come to life. If I speak it, it's got to change. The record is Jesus went, and I love what Jesus said. Jesus said, look, God, just so that they can know that I am the real McCoy. Just so they can realize that I am who I said I am. Just so they can realize that I'm the person that spoke way back when and said, let the heavens and the earth come into existence. And they came into existence. Just so they can know it. I'm going to stand right about back here. And Lazarus' grave was up there. Lazarus, come out the grave. And I love this Deacon Reed because if he had said dead, get up, all the dead would have got him. Abraham would have got him. Moses would have got him. Isaac would have got him. I wish I had somebody. Zachariah would have got him. Isaiah would have got him. But he said, no, Lazarus came on out. He said, loose him. Somebody might need to be loosed on today. You might be in grave clothes right now. Death may think he got his hands on you. Your situation may think that it's going to kill you. But when Jesus says loose you, it's got to let you go. So here is this fig tree that's standing by the side of the road, perpetrating that he got some fruit on. You know, sometimes folks perpetrate one thing. When you find out they really ain't got what they say they got. I was asking somebody that can help me. Yeah, you got a brand new car, but you ain't got nothing in your refrigerator. Yeah, you got a brand new car, but you living down in the rest stop in your car. Help me, somebody. If you will, there's a lot of perpetrators. So the record is, look at the text. Jesus said, I'm hungry. I see that tree down there. Let me see if I can go down there and give me something to eat. And the record is that when Jesus came up on the tree, he began to looked all over and didn't see any trees, any fruit on the tree. Jesus is doing the same thing to the church right now. Jesus knew that this situation would happen. He knew that this economic downfall would occur. And now Jesus is looking at the fruit. He's looking at us to see, are you really what you say you are? Are you really going to continue to give in spite of economic time? Will you still raise your hand? Will you help those that need to be helped? Because you've been talking about it for 30 years. Now I'm trying to see if you lie or are you Memorex. I wish I had somebody that could help me right about there. You know there's a lot of Memorexes in the church. They call them copycats. They almost look real, but they're not the real thing. So here he is when Jesus got there. Say, you advertising, you marketing for a position that you're not even worthy to be hired for. And I wonder right now, if Jesus were to come and interview all of us, we say, no, I don't want you to be on my team. I see your lifestyle. Yeah, you're talking one thing, but you're not doing it now. You're living this out there, but then you're coming in another way. I really don't know if I want you to be on my team. Have a witness here. So he goes on and tells my brother and sisters when Jesus looked at it, he knows that the tree didn't have any fruit. Tell your neighbor it didn't have no fruit. When you look at this tree, Deacon Reese, the tree was out of what I call creation or order. Let me see if I can help you, if you will. The tree was out of creation or order. Look at the text. It tells right there in verse 13, it says, for it was not yet time for it to bear fruit. The tree has somehow become disobedient to the divine plan of God. It wasn't even supposed to be up and sprouted at that time. And yet it was sprouted, but when it sprouted, it didn't have any figs on it. I wish that was it. It was not time yet. And yet he was out there perpetrating. Here I am. I'm a fig tree. I got figs on me. Come look at me now. But when you get that, shame on you. I got you. I fooled you. No. Jesus said, no, you are out of creation order. There are those folks who claim they're born again, but they don't act like they've been chosen. I wish I had a witness here. There are people, my brothers and sisters, that say that I've been born again, but your actions demonstrate something else. How many times have you gone in a restaurant? Cracker Barrel, let's just use it as an example. You know, in Cracker Barrel, they got these big old partitions up. And I've gone in there a couple of times and we're sitting against the partition and you can hear the conversation. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can hear, Brother Glass, you can hear the conversation on the other side. And then when the person goes, hey, whatever, how you doing?